Hey guys, welcome to Banterman Bhatt. I'm your host Achal Bhatt, and today I'm going to break down Dune Part 1 for you and also do a deep analysis of different elements in it. Dune Part 1 was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and ended up winning 6. The most notable elements being sound, VFX and cinematography, which I break down later in this video. So let's go ahead and do a recap. Dune is basically a story about different noble families or houses trying to gain control of a substance called spice, which is only present on a planet called Arrakis. So, what is spice and why is everyone after it? Spice basically is a psychotropic substance that helps in extended life, heightened senses, and safe space travel. In simpler words, think of spice as gold during the gold rush or oil in the recent past. Having said that, let's move on to some of the main characters. So, you've got House Atreides, which has been asked to take control of the planet of Arrakis by the Emperor. The house has Leto Atreides as the head, which is Oscar Isaac, Timothy Chalamet as his son, Paul Atreides, and Rebecca Ferguson as Jessica Atreides, Timothy Chalamet's mother. Then you've got House Harkonnen, basically the bad guys. They had control of Arrakis and now have been kicked out, so House Atreides has replaced them and they really are dying to take revenge. The key people in the house are the Baron, Stellan Skarsgård, and Gloucester Rabban Batista. The next set of people you see in this movie are the Fremen. Fremen basically are the natives of Arrakis. They have developed a way to maneuver through the desert. They hold mystical powers and abilities, but they've been ill-treated by the Harkonnen for ages, and most of them right now are in hiding. The key people here are Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, and Shani, played by Zendaya. So, what's the story? In a nutshell, the Atreides have been sent by the Emperor to take control of Arrakis. Soon after they get there, the Harkonnens plot an attack where pretty much half the Atreides army is killed and their head, Leto Atreides, Oscar Isaac, is also killed. At this point, Timothy Chalamet and his mother flee into the desert, not just trying to save themselves from the Harkonnens, but also the many atrocities inflicted by the desert. They eventually meet a group of Fremen people who aren't very welcoming at first because they have their own doubts, but as time goes by, they win over their trust and are part of their group. Javier Bardem, or Stilgar, is one of the key members in the Fremen tribe who believes in Paul Atreides, Timothy Chalamet's character, and they all feel that he is their new messiah. Also, something to note is that Timothy Chalamet keeps having these dreams about the Fremen throughout the movie. They don't explain much about these dreams, but I feel a lot of these are going to be unfolded in part 2. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the desert has its own difficulties, and one of the major ones out there is the sandworm. What's the sandworm? The sandworm basically is this creature which is attracted to a certain area by rhythmic sounds, and once it gets to the area, it engulfs everyone in there. The Fremen have found a way to work around the sandworm, but it still is a major threat in the desert. With the Harkonnens trying to regain control, the Atreides army almost depleted, and the Fremen having found a newfound messiah, part 2 I'm sure is going to have a lot to offer. There was a fair bit of criticism that came out when part 1 was released. A lot of people felt that it was a little slow, there were too many characters and it got confusing at times. Now, I understand that with the runtime of 2 hours and 48 minutes and a lot of world building and setting up characters, it could have gotten a lot slow for a lot of people out there. But I genuinely feel that part 2 is going to be very different. The stage is already set, the characters are introduced, and a lot of the conflicts are going to be addressed in part 2. So I definitely feel part 2 is going to be a lot more action-packed than part 1. And all the elements that had it working for part 1, like the great cinematography, the great sound, the great VFX, are all going to be at par, if not better, in part 2. Despite the criticism, what makes Dune so special is predominantly its sound and visuals. When I say sound, I mean not just the background music, but also the sound mixing, the sound design, the sound recording. For me, honestly, the best part of Dune is its sound. Fun fact, Hans Zimmer, who was a frequent collaborator with Christopher Nolan, actually said no to Tenet to take up Dune as a project as a background music composer. And he has done some absolutely incredible work for this project. I mean, he has literally gone ahead and invented instruments for his project and pushed his team beyond what they thought they were capable of.
There's a strength, there's a force that hits you, even without, reverb and compressors and all sorts of stuff. And that was in her voice.
So it is an instrument that doesn't exist anywhere. I do things that not many people in the world can do. But then I told him, yes, yeah, I can do this. He said, can you do air? I said, yeah, I can do. But can you make vowels while you're doing the air in a flute? And go like, no, don't do this to me. And it's,
and clearly the sound of the movie really stands out. In addition to this, the sound design, sound mixing and sound recording team of Dune has done some phenomenal work. From living all alone in a desert to recording the heartbeat of a sandworm, they've done it all. Apart from the sound of Dune, the visuals, the VFX and the cinematography are absolutely amazing as well. And what's even better is that all of these departments have been in complete synchrony since the beginning of the movie, with Denis Villeneuve, the director, leading the way. Now, speaking of Denis Villeneuve, the director, I think he's done some of the most amazing work in the past with movies like Sicario, Prisoners, Arrival, Blade Runner, the list goes on. And his cast and crew has gone on record to say how his vision kept them together and pushed them beyond their boundaries to give their best. Well, in conclusion, what I would like to say is that looking at the trailer of Dune Part 2, it has a lot going for it. Even in terms of the storyline, there's a lot coming up and it's going to be absolutely action-packed. This coupled with all the amazing work the various departments have been doing and Denis Villeneuve's commendable vision, I think Dune Part 2 is going to be a masterful epic. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for stopping by and I'll be seeing you very soon.